Ramon SEO. To the double T befuddling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning scheme is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like this.
And a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. I'm Ramon Scott coming to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas, home of the Super Bowl. And I've got the morning steam for December 26th, a Tuesday, Boxing Day. Time to remember those that weren't as fortunate as us yesterday. Make sure you're thinking of everyone out there as we get the day started and our 8-game card in the NBA, 3 college bowls to talk about, and there's some football we'll have updated on at least here. I'm watching a match right now here with. It's always a big day over in the EPL the day after Christmas, and there are Nottingham Forest has had quite an afternoon here. We already posted a winner there. Gerardo did, I think, in the Discord with the BTTS in this one. It was a 1-1. And then Forest, a couple of goals here to lead 3-1. Looks like they'll go on to win. More action coming up, top of the hour. If you want to get your sports day, well, tell you what, speaking of Boxing Day, we've already had the sports day started, but a couple more games in the EPL coming up here, top of the hour with Bournemouth and Fulham, Sheffield and Luton. But talk about Boxing Day, we just saw, I don't know if you guys were up early or cared, but there was championship boxing this morning from Tokyo with, Inoue scoring a 10th round knockout. He was minus 2,000 over Marlon Tapales, the Filipino fighter, but then, certainly was a big day for him as well, getting this chance. But the star from Japan, one of the top fighters in the world, pound for pound, maybe right up there at the top 2 or 3 fighters, wins in another weight class. So steps up. He has stepped up before this class, but ends up capturing the undisputed junior featherweight championship on Tuesday for Inoue, winning this one. And just to get the day started in sports and sports betting, if anybody checked it out, a little Boxing Day action from Tokyo today. Cover some of the games from yesterday. Hello and happy holidays to everyone. Hope you had a good Christmas. Thanks for joining me yesterday, everyone who came along and hung in for some picks on the card from yesterday's action in the NFL and NBA. How about the big game last night? We'll just say hello to some people and then talk about a few things with the big game last night. Wow. Ravens. Ramon better wake up to his Ravens. Closet Ravens fan might as well respect and realize how strong they were last night against the Niners. As we get started here and say hello to some folks, couple dozen in you right now, and let's say hi. And who was first? It's Gerardo. Making sure you get in the Discord and make sure you get his latest selections in there. Right, we're giving you free winners in the Discord and soccer. Who's doing that around these parts? Thank you to Gerardo. He gave you the BTTS in this one. Also, had the over in this game there as well. So thank you to Gerardo. And there's more action to come. Like I said, not only the 2 games at the top of the hour, but then more action following. It's always a big day of football action in England. But there are other games too later on this afternoon in the Premier League, including Burnley and Liverpool, Man United and Villa. I figure Villa. Maybe I could give out a pick or two here today with this light schedule. Maybe I'll. I'm just looking at this one. I'm thinking Villa right off the bat. So maybe we can squeeze a few EPL games in as well. Hello to Dwight here today and Gamble. JW's here. Eberg says, Happy Boxing Day. There it is. As we remember those and gift those. You can gift anybody, but we want to think about everybody who didn't get a gift on Boxing Day. Percent better here today. Mike is here talking about those dogs. You guys said it. And yeah, I was on some favorites. So shame on me yesterday thinking that the big numbers would cover the spreads yesterday. Uh, but we did have winners here on the show in the NFL, including the under in the Raiders and the Chiefs game. Hey, I feel like I kind of got it right. I said the Raiders wouldn't score. Well, their offense wouldn't score, but the two touchdowns in 7 seconds uh, turn it loose. And the Raiders, I think Antonio Pierce has earned the right to come back and coach the Raiders next year. I think it'll be hard not to invite Mr. Pierce to try to see what he can do over a season. Maybe it didn't look like a, you know, uh, hire that with all the due diligence and everything. Well, he's interim coach, right? So you're not going to get that. But the Raiders have taken to whatever Pierce is doing a little bit of reverse psychology, whatever he does there at halftime with the team coming out looking like a high school team going through calisthenics to start the second half. But it's working for the Raiders. They're playing some of their best football. Well, they've won. They're winning. They didn't have much offense in the game last night. Certainly, they had 48 passing yards and win the game. But in the last two games, 4 defensive touchdowns. Raiders are 11-4, the under this season, and the Chiefs. They've got plenty of issues to think about. Some poignant comments on the telecast, right? Maybe they're just waiting to get to the postseason and think they can turn it on, but doesn't look like they can. There's just too many technical issues, it looks like, with the Chiefs. And, well, yeah, they do show some flash now and then, but some of those trick plays, they came back to haunt them. So, it's all fun and dandy until you're making mistakes at the 5 yard line and giving up touchdowns. All right, let's see who else we got. Eberg says, let's get rolling in soccer today. Bruce says, let's have a bounce back day, but some of our crew certainly were able to win here. And Ray is here today. Bruce is all ready to go with his basketball in this car. Gamble says we've got college football, including a daytime bowl game here today. 3 bowls today in successive order. So a fun day to keep the games on. Hello to doubles. Hope you guys had a great holiday yesterday after we talked, of course. And you guys got your picks. Look at this. These guys are agreeing. Everybody loves the offense here in the Rice game today. Rodney's here today. Hello. And Thomas says Kelsey needs to stop focusing off the distractions here. Try to focus on some football. Yeah, I think we all kind of feel that way. Although I did finally get around, me, I'm going to spend my little bit of time off on the holiday reading about Taylor Swift. So did get around to reading the Time magazine article about Taylor Swift being the person of the year and why they chose her. Pretty good. I thought they were pretty okay with their, maybe could have went with a political figure, but it was all kind of a rough year, certainly geopolitically. So go with a big time superstar that's doing things that maybe no one has ever done, or maybe one other woman has done in the history of music. So maybe it was appropriate, but it was a nice article as well. Timmy Two Shoe. Hey, don't forget this. So I don't know if we cover it necessarily in the back end here right now at Tony's Picks. We have covered some in the past, but we've trimmed some of this down as well. But we're certainly underway in World Juniors right now in Canada at intermission, leading Finland in a big game already. And we saw Slovakia win earlier, but Junior Worlds, be some talk there, Timmy. Thank you. That is our cover. Timmy just had our coverage. No, I don't know. I think I didn't put much into that. Kelsey knew he was having some issues, and Reed just keeping his player motivated. I don't think that I didn't put much into it actually, even though it was talked about quite a bit. All right. Steam 50/50, Mike says, yeah, probably usually. But just got no win to go. Percent better, smash and like, get us started. Blake is here today. Hello, Blake. And all right. PNE with a goal here, apparently. Keeping us updated at all the levels on Boxing Day. All right. PNE with the goal, 2-1 over Leeds. Oh, late. They're late, huh? Leeds playing with 10 men. All right. Got to get the double shot. All right. Going to go over to Tony'sPicks.com and visit with the handicappers and see how they did. Everyone did pretty well yesterday. Pretty hot here on the site. Remember, we got a lot of new cappers here toiling their wares at Tony's Picks. And we'll just take a look at that handicapper leaderboard and get the show kind of started here. First, we'll just tell you a little bit more of the football action. We did also have a premium winner yesterday with the Giants and the Eagles over. And I also had a premium winner with the Ravens and the 49ers over. So 2-1 in my premium plays in the NFL yesterday. But we did didn't get them all right on the show, that's for sure. In the NBA yesterday, we did have some show winners here. We had the Bucks and the Knicks over as our winner here on the show. We also had a premium winner with the Miami Heat last night over Philadelphia. We had a premium winner. Celtics, Lakers over was our premium call in that game. And we also had a winner here on the show, Mavericks and Suns over in the late game, a winner there for yesterday in our NBA action on this holiday weekend. But we're kind of ready to get back in the swing of things a little bit, get ready for the new year, and the bowl season resumes. And of course, for all of you, the NBA season doesn't start until Christmas. People, welcome to the NBA season. You're ready to fire today on 8 games, and just maybe we'll update you what happened so far during the season, since you didn't pay attention for the first 30% or so of the season. We'll just kind of maybe tell you who's winning games or who has a good team, something like that, because you've missed it so far. All right. All right. Mark's reviews. Hey, how you been? Great to see you, Mark. Happy holidays to you, and hope you were having a great year. Hope you had a great year. Brian's here today, and he's got plays today. Thank you, Brian, for your plays in soccer today and college football. I see there. So great. Excellent. That's an excellent card. Thank you. All right. And Gerardo says he's got the plays up. Can I read them off? I want to get people over into the Discord. So if you want to post them, you can, Gerardo. But I think the effort is trying to get people a little bit into the Discord. The link is in the chat here right near the top. And maybe that's just it. We'll tease them a little bit, try to get them over there and get our Discord going. We got some core guys and probably some lurkers too that come in and take a look. But I think we could use a little more participation. But you know who you are, the ones that are participating in there. Luca with the big day in that one. And all right, let me go to Tony'sPicks.com. I want to see who did well yesterday. I could only manage a 4-4 day with my premiums. So let me tell you, this leaderboard is long, and I feel like I didn't have the break even days. Not going to cut it. Here's Joseph Schultz. He goes 6-1 on the day. Our site leader, Joseph Schultz. Don't know much about him, but he is the top handicapper here at Tony'sPicks.com for the year. As far as units wise, catch Joseph Schultz right here on Tony's Picks. All right. Ruben Marlboro. Uh, come to Marlboro country. 3-0 yesterday. I'll make up the slogans around here if these folks aren't going to make appearances and let us know who they are. Probably we know who he is. 66% yesterday. AJ Wagers, shout him out. Never lost here on the site. Puts my theory to shame that you need to play high volume. I guess if you never lose, then you don't need to play high volume. Well, you need to make sure you're playing bombs, certainly, if you're going to win just one or two plays a day. But AJ Wagers, so far on our site, has never lost in a game, period. Zilch. Believe now 10-0. I want to say maybe it's 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, something like that. We'll check in a second. Ronnie C. Ron Crawford 3-1 on Sunday. Gene got picks. Gene got winners 4-2. Anthony Mance 4-2 on holiday on Christmas. Marlon Pettis won his only play. Chauncey Giles won his only play. So these guys are like clockwork here. Ralph Raymond 2-1. Mark Butterscotch Eubanks 2-1. Jerry Lewis 2-1 yesterday. Sean Dinwiddie profitable. Tim Irwin profitable. And Mindy Hahn showing profit on Christmas. Great job by the team. Over the last 7 days on our site, it's none other than Mindy Hahn. She's a leader of two old ladies who bet and stuff over there, and she's up 20 and 2/3 units over the last 30 days. A really terrific mark. Joseph Schultz right there. A good, strong record, really strong record. 10-65. AJ Wagers 8-0 this week. Pretty much just play a day, win them all. Tony T, real strong percentage here, coming in at over 69%, 724 over the last 7 days. Gene got picks. So far, I've been clicking on the site the last 7 days. 19-11 for 564 units. Over the last 30 days here on the site, it's Tiffany Mance up 26.61. Daniel Walasachuk's up 18 units. Nick Vartini, he's the face of Platinum Cappers, and he's up over 16 units of profit. Ralph Raymond is up 12 units, and Tony T is up 11.97 over the last 30 days here at Tony'sPicks.com. You can see our leaderboard running deep these days here with our new cappers. So looks like they're going to be profitable here on the site, getting started over the last week and a half since we've expanded our roster. All these handicappers. There's AJ Wade. Okay, 8-0, just 8-0 for AJ. And you see the profitable cappers on the site all doing a pretty good job here. Looks like we got a good team assembled. Click on the premium picks tab. There you'll find all of our best picks from our team. I'm going to try to give you some free winners here in just a moment. But we have our free picks over at Tony'sPicks.com and our premium picks here. 3 packs, 5 packs, 7 packs from the team today includes Nick Bartini, a 3-pack in the NBA tonight. Best bets from the crew from Joseph Schultz and Nick Lagaretos as well. That first college football game, gang, does start at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific. So come on back to Tony'sPicks.com and see what the team has. Click on the All Cappers tab. You can find the handicapper of your choice. Then click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you would get signed up. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20%. All right, maybe just a few more notes here and get the show started. We already talked about the big win for Baltimore. 5 interceptions for Brock Purdy, 4 sacks. Lamar Jackson, pretty darn good, and 250 yards, 300 yards of total offense, pretty much. Yesterday, Purdy had to leave the game with a stinger again, but he's battled through that injury a little bit. McCaffrey, 100 yards. Kittle, nice game as well. Ayuk, too. But really, the Ravens, they've won 9 of 10 now. They're 12-3. Niners fall to 11-4. Uh, Raiders and Chiefs, we talked about it. Raiders with the win. The Chiefs, man, they were going backwards in the first quarter. Uh, Raiders yesterday really getting to Mahomes, making it miserable on him. 10 quarterback hits, 4 sacks, 7 tackles on the team for loss. And of course, the Eagles holding off the Giants, a game we didn't necessarily discuss here, but Jalen Hurts, 300 yards. Tommy Cutlets goes to the bench. Tyrod Taylor comes in. Should be Tyrod Taylor the whole time, obviously. Let him 2 scoring drives look much better than DeVito. So sometimes you wonder what these guys are thinking, right? You get a hot name or whatever, and a guy comes back who's capable, and all of a sudden you probably have the wrong guy in there and you didn't even realize it. So, Dable, okay, good coach. Maybe he does a good job. Maybe he's saddled with some issues there, but let's think about it. Let's think about it before we, start, I don't know, just throwing out solutions there. I just don't know how else to put it. All right. Maybe a few other notes here. Harbaugh contract extension being discussed now at Michigan all of a sudden. Is that right? Uh, I don't know. Well, it could be. Maybe the Chargers could go after Harbaugh. Don't know if they'd ever pay the money, but certainly could be a situation there if he doesn't stay at Michigan. All right, let's see who else we have here and get the previews started. We won't have too long of a show here. And, yep. Okay, I think that's it. I think we got your important comments anyway. So we'll just get started with the show. Yeah, we'll do college football first, of course. With the big bowl games, of course we will. Let's get it rolling here. And get your pens, pencils, and scorecards ready as we get ready for the 3 bowl games today, including the tradition that is the Quick Lane Bowl. Well, when the Quick Lane Bowl comes around, I know it's always time to go get my old Ford service. That's for sure. Minnesota comes in a 3.5 point favorite against Bowling Green from the MAC in this one, and somehow I guess the Gophers, they lost 4 straight. They had to pick somebody to go to a bowl, right? We already know we had Jacksonville State and James Madison, put them in a bowl. Now we still don't have enough teams. So remember we talked about the rules of how to get the teams in the bowl games and how those 2 teams had to luck out my bottom. Here Minnesota comes in. They were the one team. They were the 5-7 that got into a bowl game. They were giving up 35 points in their last 4 games. They were just 2-5 against the spread this season. Bowling Green, they've been kind of a team that have been forcing a lot of turnovers, and it's been part of their success. They won 4 of their last 5 games away from home and are 16-10 against the spread. Their last 26 games as an underdog. Now, Bowling Green hasn't done too well in their recent bowl games, but they're just 1-4. But they really haven't, they've been to they were in a bowl game last season. They lost to Pitt right here at the Quick Lane Bowl, 30-27. For Minnesota, as I said, with their poor spread record, certainly as a favorite, but maybe a few things going for him a little bit. PJ Fleck, not bad as a favorite overall, but like I said, this year maybe just a little bit overrated. And 2 years ago, Bowling Green did beat Minnesota 14-10 as a 30-point underdog in a matchup. This matchup, which features the MAC, often features an underdog cover, and the team is usually the MAC. Underdogs are 6-3 against the spread in the last 9 quick lane bowls, but MAC teams here, they've made appearances in, I want to say this bowl last 9 years. The MAC team's been invited 6 times. They are 2-4 against the spread in this particular bowl. See if we get some comments from you guys, and then I'll make a pick as well. Maybe a few more notes on the game as well. Oh, like and smash. Thank you. 2% better. Mike says take Minnesota as his pick. I think that's the only pick we have. Maybe I need to throw out just a few more uh, stats or notes here. Maybe you can give you guys a little bit of an opinion. Certainly, Minnesota just 3-9 against the spread overall this season. We'll note that uh, Bowling Green was an underdog in this range once already this season. Let me see if I can get that one. They did cover the spread as a short underdog, and Minnesota was 0-2 when laying a similar number. Gamble says take Bowling Green. Yes, Blake, this game is indoors. It's played at the stadium in Detroit. Lazzy Love is here today. Gamble says take the over. Mike says over sounds good. So, yeah, got to play at Ford Field. There, the Detroit Stadium. So, okay. Also, Bowling Green 5-1 this season against the spread against teams that are sub 500 teams. Now, maybe their schedule was a little bit weaker in conference there, and should obviously note the line movement here. Uh, it is significant. This one was as high as Minnesota -6 or so. We're mostly seeing 3.5s here now. That total needs to be updated, Ramon, because it's now up to 41 at Bovada. We're only seeing a move to the over here today. It seems like with this game, maybe some of the perception might be for these teams. Maybe because of the Big Ten factor a little bit. I don't know, but not awful as far as some of the trends are concerned. And I would think that the move is right. There's no value to the over here. Talk about the old value meter. I saw some talking heads saying that, that last night that they like the over in this game, the values on the over. I disagree. I disagree. While I do think that maybe I do think the over might be the call here in this game, I don't think there's any value to it. Not when you could have had a 36.5 pretty much widely available, at least 38.5 widely available when you talk about the general public getting involved, week of the game type of thing over the last. Let me see when that drastic move started to occur, because, like I said, certainly you could have way lower when the bowl games first came out, and after the 2 days. But let me see, 38s were out there on the 19th, 38.5. So within the last week, that 38 was up there, and now you're looking at a 41. So no value. You might like the over. I mean, I like the over too, but there's no value to it. Again, but some people, when they say value, they just are comparing it to their own number. So they could say maybe it should be a generalization. Maybe they would say, according to my numbers, there's still value, but I don't know. And I'm not the be all end all for the terminology. I just Let's see. You guys got a few more plays here. It looks like the Sharps are at it again. You know that, Mike. You know that they're all on the over, it seems like. So I'm kind of, I usually get it. I usually go with the Sharps in a situation like this. Now, maybe is it getting a little bit too uncomfortable, too high? Maybe it is. So I'll probably just do it on the show here and go with that. But as far as the side is concerned, you know, uh, again, the value Minnesota was a 6 point favorite. It's all the way down here to 3.5 currently. So uh, no injury as far, no uh, injury mode, if you will. I don't think we do have uh, certainly the changes or people who are missing. I think we're for the most part expected here. Both the Bowling Green, Timosiak and uh, Kalikamanis for Minnesota, the quarterbacks. Those guys are out. So Minnesota goes with Cole Kramer as their quarterback here. So again, maybe just to resume our bowl coverage, to me, the bowl games are the start of the next season, not necessarily the conclusion of this season. Brian says Bowling Green hasn't played a team outside of the MAC this year, meaning um, what? Meaning outside of the quality of the MAC, because or a Power Five, maybe is that maybe what we're looking what the maybe I could get into that a little bit because I know that's his generalization here. Let's see here. All right. Give him a few more comments while I look that up. All right. Bruce says pretty easy for him. Just go over in every bowl game. Gamble says give me Bowling Green in the over. And uh, Chad went 4-0 yesterday. Great job, Chad. All right. Let's see here on that. So Bowling Green, there are other matchups, if you will, outside of the MAC. I know what you're saying, but so it might be interesting to at least make a little bit of a comparison on these, right? Uh, Early in the season, Georgia Tech, they did win and cover that one. We saw what Georgia Tech ended up doing, so that was turns out to be a pretty good looking performance for Bowling Green to be able to beat Georgia Tech back in September. Of course, they lost to Michigan 31-6. They beat Eastern Illinois from 1AA 38-15. They also lost and failed to cover in their season opener against Liberty, but did cover. And let's see, 5 of their last 6 games for Bowling Green, they were able to get that spread. So the move has been on Bowling Green, no doubt about it here. But I don't know. For me, now that the spread has come maybe back to within a range here that I could get on Minnesota, maybe that's where I'm a little bit more interested here. So all right. I will take Minnesota actually as my play. I think Bowling Green might be pretty popular, but I'm going to take the quote unquote value here with Minnesota at -3.5. They were -6. But I'm going to go ahead and try here with Minnesota. To me, I think the Sharps are on Bowling Green for sure. So, yeah, no doubt there are issues for pretty much everywhere. What are you playing for these? With these quarterbacks here and the players that don't want to play. What are we doing here? Right? I mean, if you're that worried about one game, I mean, and again, one bowl game can make you a lot of money nowadays. That's for sure. So I don't know what you're protecting. Yeah, a lot of teams you can't come back if you've entered the portal. And Bowling Green for Dwight. So I know you guys are going to be on Bowling Green. I'll take Minnesota here today. I'll have a premium in all three bowl games, that's for sure. All right. Well, everyone's expecting offense at the First Responder Bowl today in Dallas with Rice and Texas State. Hey, Texas State, welcome to the Bowls. Welcome to the College Bowl season, or welcome to College Bowls, period. Texas State is headed to a bowl for the first time, and it's right here in Dallas. So good job, Texas State. They'll make their first bowl. They did lose 3 of their last 5 games after a 5-2 start to the season. For Texas State, they had their big win of the season against Baylor, 42-31, back in September as a 4-touchdown underdog. They've got a quarterback. Let's see here. I'll get into it just a little bit with personnel. Let me get some of these stats out here, maybe today. But Texas State comes in here representing the Sun Belt for Rice. They are, by the way, 7-5 for Rice. They come in 6-6. They won their last 2 games to get to the bowls. Rice, a pretty good underdog. They're an underdog here at Texas State. The line opened 6.5. The move's been on Rice. It's all the way down to 3.5 here. Now, for the most part, 3.5, and this total at 59.5. They'll tick down here just a few minutes ago. Certainly, the move here coming in. I want to say this thing might have got steamed just a few minutes ago. Let me check. I know the move has been on. I saw it come up here, and let's just see if it was semi-official. No, not necessarily, but the move has been to the under in this one. American Athletic Conference teams, not great right now. They've only covered 10 of the last 28 games against non-conference opponents. Favorites in this bowl, 5-3-1 in the last 9 iterations. But since 2020, Sun Belt teams continue to do a number on some of these AAC teams. This season, Sun Belt teams are 6-3 against the American Conference, often as I think majority of them have come as an underdog. Here you have Texas State as a favorite. Rice has been under in 3 straight. Maybe you've got some plays here in this one. Bobby Smith is here and says go over 60. And Gamble says, okay, I kind of like Texas State to cover the spread. Yeah, maybe you can cover a few more notes here and make a play, see if anybody else wants to chime in. Don't want to go too fast today. We've got plenty of action. Or not enough action, I should say. All right, Rice is 5-1 against a number this season as an underdog. Pretty good note there, certainly to take consideration of. I think that's one of the better numbers in this game, making Rice kind of live, but unfortunately, again, no value necessarily here. But the steam has been mostly on Rice. It hasn't been all winning steam. Rice is 1-4 to the under this season away from home. But I will say this, in games with a total between 57 and 61, Texas State is 4-0-1 to the over. And Gamble also thinking over. It's been very, very popular today. Certainly, it seems like at the window, yet this pressure we're seeing to the under here. This total has dropped maybe from a high of about 62, but I think for the most part, we've been right around this point. It did get as low as 58 and a half before it was pushed back up to 60 or so. And now we have that secondary push here to the under that's been coming in within the last, oh, uh, 30 minutes or so, I will say right now. Um, but for me, I agree with you guys. I've got to agree with you guys actually and figure that we get the big number here today. Uh, kind of like it is maybe the premium pick. So I don't know. I'm going to grab the points here with Rice and think that the conference, that's from the team from the AAC can do it. I think Mike's on him as well. I'll take Rice plus the points. We're not getting the best of it here, that's for sure. And Gamble says, I hope it goes down even further, right? So sometimes we like the sharps to blast something, and so we can get on the other side. I'll take Rice here. I've got the dog. And finally, it's Kansas going up against UNLV. This one's at the Guaranteed Rate Bowl in Phoenix. And, well, I don't know if it's necessarily been burnout time here for the Rebels. They obviously have some issues coming in. Look, it's been a great season. It's been a miraculous season, a season unlike any other, no other here for UNLV for the most part. It's their first bowl game in 10 years for my new home team here, just 5 minutes up the road here, maybe 10 minutes on the surface streets for UNLV. But their season ended with two consecutive losses at home, and now uh, they've lost their quarterback to the transfer portal, and I'm sure uh, you know with coaching changes coming as well. Benefit. Good job by Barry Odom. Certainly deserves to kind of be rewarded here for the most part for their great season. He is 0-2, was 0-2 in bowls, but Kansas really is a team that's had not a lot of uh, transfers, and they expect to kind of be one of the few teams that maybe they're going in with almost a team at full strength. It feels like for the most part, and that's what the theme has been for this game so far. Now we know Jalen Daniels hasn't been in there. We know that the UNLV quarterback Mayaba, he's out. He's done too, I believe. So does put us in a little bit of a quandary here. But when you have all those players coming back in Kansas, you know. Maybe they've been talked about as a team that could cover some double digits here, but this spread isn't 13 any longer. It's down to 12 right now. I mean, this thing's moving as we speak, and the total's down here to 67. Well, that's what I have it on screen. I'm seeing some 67 and a halves here out there as well. Kansas plays in a lot of close games, though, man. I'll tell you, 5 of their last 6 games were decided by 7 points or less. Yeah, we know they're playing uh, conference teams for the most part. For Kansas, they are 5-1 against the spread. Their last 6 games out of conference, they weren't all as favorites, mind you. And Kansas, uh, they're going to their first bowl also in a long time, in quite a while, if I'm not mistaken. The average final score in the guaranteed rate bowl in the last 4 guaranteed rate bowls has been just 33 and a half points. Favorites have covered 4 of the last 5 guaranteed rate bowls, or it might have been called, I don't know, I think it has been the guaranteed rate bowl uh, for a few years now. So I thought maybe it was a different name, but All right. Kansas comes in 7-4 against the number. UNLV comes in with a 9-3 record against the spread. UNLV 6-0 against the spread away from home this season, and 5-1 against the spread as an underdog, including 4-0 against the spread on the road. Obviously, would make sense given some of those other numbers we mentioned. Let's get some of your other comments in here today and see what we have. Hi, Brian Carter here talking about the other game, but appreciate you, Brian. Didn't catch your comment there, but want to say shout out and hello. And for Blake, he's got UNLV under in this one. Ray's got the under as well. Here's Bobby on the Rebels today. And thank you, Tony. To this one, I type it in usually the comments, but this has to be our man. Thank you so much, Tony, and appreciate you stopping by. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. If that's you, could be Mindy, could be anyone who operates it. Just want to say shout out to all the crew here at Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 40,000 subscriber juggernaut. Proud to be a part of it. All right, Rodney's got comments here on some of the ticket count in this one. And Gamble says he likes Kansas to get that big money. Pretty interesting move here on the Rebels. Certainly, I kind of want to give them one more chance. But like I said, it just seems to be, right, in the postseason, you kind of have storylines, right, on what teams are doing. Here's Doubles wants the under here in this one. But what you have are, basic storylines, and you have a UNLV team where they came in, great season. Barry Odom, Coach of the Year candidate, completely turning a team that was ranked in could have been the bottom 10%, if not bottom 10 teams in the country, certainly as far as, stability of a program, future, and completely turn it around. Like I said, I do believe that the Rebels will continue to grow this program, at least at this level, given they're playing in one of the most beautiful stadiums in the world. And I think that does help to a certain extent recruiting, especially at a place like UNLV that, has not been known for football. So, yeah, Odom came in. I need a quarterback, a coach like that to turn around a program. Whether or not they can find someone just as good, we'll see. But does feel like things are still going in the right direction for UNLV. Just might be a little bit tougher in this one. That's still a lot of points, man, here. And I kind of want to grab them, and I think I'm going to do so. See if we get any more comments from you guys, and maybe I'll throw out a few more trends here. UNLV, we already talked about how well they are as an underdog. They've gone over in 8 of their last 11 games this season. And Kansas, just a 50-50 proposition really to the total, but Gamble likes the under. All right, I think that'll probably do it for me in this one, and I'm going to look to take UNLV here plus the points. It's going to be tough, but the Dogs have done okay, and that's what we're going to need right there. We're going to need a little bit of defense from the Rebels, and I'm obviously going to be involved in the totals. So enjoy the bowl games today, and appreciate you guys for your picks and comments. All right, we're going to turn our attention now to the NBA card tonight. 8 games to resume play. Like I said, welcome to the regular season to those of you who say that the season doesn't start until Christmas. You've missed a pretty good season. We even had a little tournament we even had a tournament earlier with a champion, believe it or not. All right, Gamble said go over in those first 2 bowl games. That's his advice to you. All right, let's get rolling here on the NBA coverage now and start with the Magic here on the road against the Wizards. today to get us started with NBA talk. You do have the Magic here on the roads. Pretty big favorite here, certainly, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like an easy contest necessarily, especially. Look, we already talked about maybe some of the things that happened in the run up, and maybe there were some upsets. Everyone was kind of expressing a little bit of frustration or upset city here. It's still going. It doesn't end just because there's Christmas. There is a little bit of a post holiday hangover, if you will. Maybe uh, can't necessarily say if it's home or away, but I do think maybe a little bit tough to return to complete form. We'll see. Orlando's lost four of their last five games, and you're taking on a team like the Wizards that doesn't have a terrific record, obviously, right now, but uh, we know that Orlando's been one of the best spread teams overall this season at 19-9 against the number, including 8-2 against the spread as a favorite this season, 2-0 against the spread as a road favorite, 7-1 against the spread against teams playing 450 ball or below. So just a matchup where Orlando has been able to handle weaker teams, certainly this season, and they also played pretty well with rest. For the Wizards, meanwhile, they're 3-7 against the spread at home, 3-6 in that role as a home underdog here. So the numbers certainly kind of seem to pan out for Orlando in this one. But again, you're dealing with a Wizards team that has started to taste some success. We make fun of the Wizards, right? Because this record has been so bad. The start has been so bad. They're 5-23, but against the number, they're basically a 50-50 proposition. They are able to get it done here in a lot of spots.
Final.
Fernando likes the under here in this one. All right, a few more numbers here. Maybe looking at the total to a certain extent. Tonight, you got a Washington team 16-12 to the over so far this season, and the total has gone over in 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams. Orlando has won 4 of the last 5 meetings, but between these two, but Washington's covered the spread in those 4 of 5 games. So close games for the most part, I would say, is what we've seen. We've already seen these teams match up twice this season. Both games were won by the Magic, 130-125. They did not cover the spread as a 10.5-point favorite. However, they played one of those 2 games in 3 nights scenarios. Orlando won the first one, 139-120, as a 10-point favorite. Both games pretty high scoring. Ray says go over. I want to say hello to Tom Trewicki here. Richard Lynn also. Welcome to Richard. He says take the Magic in this one by double digits. Hello to Lex as well today. Thank you, guys. All right, I think you guys got your plays pretty much in on this one, and I've got to like the over here with these two teams, Orlando and Washington today. I'll go over as my play on the show. And move on to the Brooklyn Nets are going to take on the Detroit Pistons. Oh, please, 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 Detroit Pistons, please. Please end this nightmare. It's hard, part of me wants to say, you never, when you see things like this, maybe you secretly want it to go on, but I don't know if I do, man. It feels a little uncomfortable at this point, especially Detroit. I mean, yeah, they're pretty bad. It's still 9-9. Let's see, I think they're 9-19 against the number. Bring it up here. I was researching it. certainly researching this monstrous losing streak at this point. Hard to imagine in today's game that because we really haven't seen ultra bad teams over the last few years. Like there's been enough parity that I don't know. We just don't want to see the single digit team. You don't want someone out there going 9-72. Right. So for the Pistons, they do come in 10-19 against the number. Meanwhile, the Brooklyn Nets, they're one of the best against the number, 18-10-1 against the spread this season. Also 9-2 against the spread as a favorite. Brooklyn has been money, no doubt about it. They've also covered two spreads already this season in this range, between 5 and 8 points as a favorite. Meanwhile, Detroit, when getting between 5 and 8 points, is 0-4 to the number. They're also 4-7 against the spread as a home underdog. And we know it hasn't been perfect here for Detroit in this massive losing streak right now. Brooklyn has won the last 5 meetings here in Detroit, and the total has gone over in 5 straight when these two teams have met. It's also gone over in 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams here in Detroit. Let's get your comments. Could this be the day the Detroit Pistons? It would be a nice Christmas to get a win here, I would think, in this one. And it's just tough against a team like Brooklyn that pretty much is making a living, uh, right now on some of these teams. One of the best spread teams around, certainly the Brooklyn Nets. Nope, that was the last game. Sorry about that. And great comment here by Rodney, because we know that the Pistons have had some issues that have been affecting them here. But to get some of the players that we seem to talk about, especially Duran, who looks like he will get to play finally. He's had that turned ankle for a while now, so he'll get to be in the lineup. Isaiah Stewart, probable with that toe injury. Killian Hayes, who was on the list with an illness. He's ready to go today. And for Brooklyn, just want to mention here, obviously, because I'm such a widely respected handicapper, and we do have 70 of you in here right now, but the total on the Wizards and the Magic is being hit right now to the over, obviously, because we gave it out. Not really, it is coincidence, but that total right now is at 239 at Bovada, 238 juice to the over at Bet Online, 238.5 now at Bet Online. So Magic and Wizards total moving higher. Good thing we got on it now. Get on it now if you like it over. Might be you could hit up some of your other books. Are still hanging around at 237.5, including those here in Vegas. It looks like. All right, let's get a few more comments here. Bobby Smith says, "Hey, maybe the Wizards will." Oops, you guys are still on that game. Oh, here we go. Mike says, take the Pistons and the points in this one, it looks like. Fernando wants to go over here. And Thomas, hey, I want to say hello. He's back on the other game here. I might be going too fast for you guys, or I just missed all the comments on the other game. I thought we had them. Serve 5. Hello and welcome. He was talking about let's see here. All right, I think all right. He might have been talking about the other game. Certainly, he was talking about Kuzma and then getting into the Pistons here. He might have just been talking about both games. No problem there. Thank you, Serve 5. Great to have you here today. Oh, maybe you were talking about a parlay. All right. Thomas says Brooklyn and lay it. Hello to Darren today. Always great to have you. All right. All right, you guys. I think you guys have made your you guys have made your plays be known in this one with the Nets here against the Pistons. And for me, I'm going to end up on the under here. I know the Steam came in on the over, but I am going to take the under here at 230, 231 and a half for the most part. And that spread, yeah, 6 and 6.5 mostly currently. All right. Let's move on to game three here with the Timberwolves and the Thunder. Hey, want to welcome everybody to the NBA season that doesn't start watching until after Christmas. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the best team in the Western Conference. This is a big deal because the Wolves have spent in their team history 34 years of Timberwolves basketball. They've been the number one seed or in first place in the Western Conference for for 10 days in 34 years. This season now, I believe we're working on close to a month. So they've been in first place this season longer than they have been in first place in their entire team history. So the Minnesota Timberwolves, if you're just joining us for the NBA season, they are one of the best teams in the NBA, and make no mistake, this is no fluke. Now, they lack experience and are going to be, maybe a bugaboo as they get towards the end of the season or into the postseason. We're only 30% into the season after all, but they have, one of the best players in all of basketball. That's a fact. They have some of the best defense in the league, a top five defense for sure, if not top three. You could argue, even statistically, that it is the best defense in the league. And they're going against a Thunder team that, well, even you guys who only watch 75% of the season know these guys are all about the money. And, I imagine that they could hang in there as well today, given their reputation. But uh, again, the Thunder are kind of a team that we want to take as dogs and not necessarily as favorites. Now that could be different for you because they're playing a team like Minnesota, but all right, just get some numbers here for you in this one. Minnesota has really dominated against the Thunder over the last several meetings. In fact, Minnesota has won 9 of the last 10 meetings over the Thunder. And, well, quite frankly, that was before Minnesota was who they were, right? If anything, they were kind of on pace, kind of the same team. I think we can put Minnesota ahead of the Thunder right now in terms of higher quality teams. Oklahoma City has gone over in 6 of their last 7 games at home, and the widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. Right now, we're dealing mostly with a number around the 228 range here, as it's gone up from a low of 225 or so. So, pretty significant move to the over. Let's just say that. This series has been an under, however. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under.
Final.
Minnesota right now, 15, 10, and 3 against the spread overall this season. 2 and 4 against the spread as a road dog. Thunder 18, 8, and 1 against the spread overall. 11 and 5 against the spread as a favorite. But like I said, to me, it doesn't feel that comfortable laying points with the Thunder against a pretty high quality defensive team. And, the Thunder are playing pretty good defense as well. So I'm going to take the Timberwolves here plus the points in this one at +3. I'll trust the defense. I'll trust that it's going to be a good, close game here. And I'll take the Timberwolves. Nothing wrong with, I can't give you any numbers talking about the Thunder that are going to indicate them to not be a great team, making money this season. But for the most part, these two teams do trend a little bit to the over. They're a combined 30 and 24 to the over this season, but maybe more notably, Minnesota 10-5 to the over on the road, and Oklahoma City 9-5-1 to the over at home this season. All right, I'll take the Timberwolves. See if we got more comments from you folks. And Mike wants the Thunder buddies here. And I see you, Jay. But I won't tolerate it. All right, you can sign up again. That's fine. Terrell going with the old nickname handicap here. All right. Survive, thank you for your comments. Glad you had the chance to stop by here today. And I want to see what your avatar is there, actually. Oh, FSU. Okay. Appreciate you, Survive. Looks like you know what goes on here and just haven't had time to stop by. Maybe you're off today from work and get a chance to chime in the chat. So thank you for your contributions. All right. Gino going over in the game with the Timberwolves and the Thunder. All right. And give me the Wolves. All right. Here's a real nice game tonight. Two teams were definitely interested in seeing. Things have turned around rapidly for the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think we're just going to say, for Morant coming back that, a couple of good games, but they're still the Grizzlies. It doesn't feel like that. It does feel like he is that difference maker in this lineup, right? Considering his impact right now. I mean, uh, good or bad, positive or negative, say what you want on the court. Morant, hard to deny this man's ability, intensity, desire, leadership to a certain extent. I'll say it. Do we want to clean up everything else? Yeah. And can we put some of those things aside? I think we can. With Morant, yeah. Does it affect the team if you get in trouble and you're not on the court? That's a problem. But when you're there, that just goes to show you how important he is. Right. So let's get into this one with Memphis and New Orleans. Don't forget, let's not slight the Grizzlies. Uh, slight the Pelicans uh, to any extent at this point because they're playing pretty awesome right now as well. New Orleans right now at 17-13. Memphis 9-19. Forget about it. We're talking about a new Memphis team here moving forward, and it's no problem to kind of they're. For those of you just joining us, the Memphis Grizzlies are not as bad as their 9-19 record. Their best player just returned to the lineup a couple of days ago after missing the first 25 games of the season with a suspension, a league applied suspension. So you'll never know the guy missed. Just want to let you know they're 9-19 for a reason. They were without their, one of the best players in the league. Memphis has gone under in 4 of their last 5 games. Pelicans have covered 8 of their last 10 games at home. And thank you, Gino. Let me go ahead and get this game updated then here. In fact, I think that was just a typo. Thank you for catching that, Gino. I'm showing, in fact, 2:30 right now. I'm going to call it 5 and 2:30 for the Pelicans. Oh, I can see what I did wrong right now. I just had the wrong game on the next game because I had the Pelicans. Oh, that shouldn't have been. Give me just one moment. I'm going to take a swig of water here. All right. There we go. Nope, that's not it either. There we go. There we go. Thanks. Pelicans -5 and 230 here in this one. Pelicans at home. Pelicans right now 10-5 against the spread at home this season. Memphis 7-11 against the spread as an underdog. Now, look, you might say, yes, the absence of Morant, now the addition of Morant is baked into the lineup. And you might be able to throw out some of the numbers that indicate some of the woes that the Grizzlies had, maybe being a bit overrated. Because I think what we kind of expected without Morant was that the Grizzlies still would be an opponent to, be able to navigate the waters a little bit for 25 games without Morant. But as we came to find out, I mean, that definitely was not the case, especially given their uh, spread record over the games that he missed. All right, and like this total here at 230 or so, uh, Memphis has gone under in 4 of their last 5 games. Both these teams have been mostly to the under. Memphis again could write it off and say, let's see more games with Morant, but they were 11-17 to the under so far this season. I will mention New Orleans when the total is right here in this range, 227.5 to 230.5. They are just 1-4 to the under so far this season. So we'll see. The widely reported steam did come in on the over, and that's kind of the way that I want to look here, even with some of those numbers indicating. Remember, with Morant, could be a different situation here, right now. All right, and I will be on the over in this one as my play. That widely reported steam did come in on the over, but wasn't as drastic. Like I said, that was just a typo. This game opened around 229 or so and has gone up just a point or two. Give me the over tonight with Memphis and New Orleans. And we have a few more comments from the folks. Thank you, Lex, for your prop information here. And Thomas, thank you for your observations on the game as well. Ray says he'll go under. Ray and I are against one another here, but Fernando's on the over. He also likes the Pels in the first quarter. Ray likes the Pels in the first half. And Thomas, I think Thomas was I don't know if you meant, he's on the other game there. Sorry about that. Thomas on the other game there with OKC. Okay, here we go. Sorry if I'm going a little too fast on some of these, but not a big card today. Hey, here's the Jazz taking on the Spurs today. Wembanyama's been a little bit sidelined here. Hey, just want to mention right now, you guys, let me take this off the screen here real quick. Just want to touch on the Grizzlies and the Pelicans here real quick because we're starting to see some movement on these games all over the place. There's definitely, I don't know if you heard in the background, steam there like 3 times in a row, and it was pretty much a lot of NBA movement here. In fact, the Grizzlies and Pelicans have moved to 4 at circa. They've definitely just taken a whole point off the Grizzlies at this point. Now we'll see if that's anything injury related. Looking at what we had today, I didn't think, other than Marcus Smart was listed as questionable. Maybe the indication is he is going to play today, because I thought it was actually going to look pretty bad for Smart and his foot injury. We'll see, because everything that I was reading with the beat writers was that Smart was going to be really tough to make this game. Maybe that's why this move is coming in, but the spread is definitely moving toward Memphis right now. Some kind of money, some type of action from bookmakers here on Memphis. All right, continue on with the Jazz at the Spurs here in this one. The Jazz are favored on the road by 3.5 here, and the total is 242. We did see a little bit of trouble recently with Victor Wembanyama, and he's going to be questionable for this game with an ankle injury. Utah, they've started to put it together here, I think, just a little bit. They do have Keontae George questionable. THT is questionable here in this one as well. And the Jazz are a road favorite. Now, the interesting thing to note, I mean, obviously the Jazz have had their issues. They're not great necessarily either with their sub 500 record. I think they're actually playing about 400 basketball right now. We know the Spurs have had a pretty woeful season, but the Jazz they still they've won as a road favorite, or they've won as a favorite. I think they're 2-0. Let me get that stat for you here, but just to cover a few of these things. San Antonio's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games, and 5 straight games now at home. Utah has gone 5-2 against the number in their last 7 games overall. Let me see if I got that number here with Utah. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so Utah as a favorite, 3-1 against the spread this season. Now 0-1 has a road favorite, so maybe a little bit of caution there. But San Antonio 4-8-1 against the spread as a home underdog, 9-17-1 against the spread overall. So Utah. Look, a lot of it had to do with Markkanen in and out of the lineup, his absences really when he was out, that's when Utah had that really challenged lineup. I think they still do. I would think for the most part here, but maybe this will be an okay spot here for Utah uh, against San Antonio. Maybe you're looking at San Antonio. This could be the chance for them to actually get the money here today, but I'm going to take Utah. I'm going to lay it on the road. I can't do it as a premium, but I'll go ahead and do it here right now. And does feel like, man, we think of these San Antonio games and they get so high scoring, and all these trends with Spurs games kind of point, to the over 12-2 to the over at home. But today, man, it's 242. Yeah, it's still 242 for the most part. Utah is 7-13 to the over as well this season, so they trend over as well. I'm not sure. The steam came in on the, I believe on the no, not widely reported. So I'll dial it back a little bit on that. Just give me Utah as the play here. Ray does like the under. Okay, so does Fernando. Yeah, that's what I was looking. Terrell says, the Jazz can be better with a healthy team, and like I said, I'm one of those guys, one of those sharps. Sometimes it doesn't even look at the personnel, just betting numbers, thinking that the market. And again, I'm a market reader. I'm a market handicapper. Uh, First and foremost, I would say, of course, sometimes the personnel, the trends, that could win out for me too. I'm not by the book on this stuff. Timmy says the Spurs will have that lull as they usually do, and when they start to lose the momentum a little bit. All right, I'll take the Jazz here on the road over the Spurs. Ooh, the Pacers are going to take on the Rockets. Wow. That should be an interesting game tonight with the Pacers here. Road dog against the Rockets. Wow. The Pacers, they don't call them the Pacers for nothing. We know how the Pacers like to play it with a high score, with a high pace. But They're going up against a Rockets team that has kind of implemented their own form of defense here necessarily. I think they're quite improved for sure on defense right now. The Rockets are 11 2 and 1 against the number at home this season, 6 1 and 1 against the spread as a favorite, 5 1 and 1 against the spread as a home favorite. Indiana, they've been decent. They're a 500 team against the spread, pretty much up and down the line in this role this season. I will note that against teams that are above a 550 winning percentage, however, they are 5, 8, and 1 to the numbers so far this season. Indiana has won 4 of the last 5 meetings here in Houston, but this should be tough. The Rockets have won 12 of their last 13 games at home, going 7 and 1 against a number in their last 8 games here at home as well. All right, some information on the total here because we know the Pacers have been just a big time over this season. 20 and 8 to the over overall, 9 and 4 to the over on the road. Interesting to note because we talked about this earlier in the season. We did go talking about it. We lost when it came out the first time, but the total in this range for Indiana, yeah, we know they are a pretty big over, but between 236 and 239, they are 5 and 1 to the over so far this season. Now contrast that with the Rockets, who are a pretty strong under. They're 10 and 7 to the under overall, 4 and 10 to the under at home. That to me kind of is almost enough to neutralize what we talked about here necessarily with the Pacers and them being the highest scoring team. It might be that maybe no one can stop the pace, not necessarily in the win column. I'm just talking about the pace that they want to dictate is kind of more what I'm saying here. So, all right, I think for me, I'm going to look to take the Pacers in this one and stay in there today with Houston. I'm going to take these points. I want to try them as a dog here tonight. Get your comments in this one. Campbell's going over. And I think Ray is on yes, it looks like Ray is on the under in this one. That's what I felt like, Terrell. I think the talking heads will be on Houston here. Do want to check a little bit of Halliburton's status real quick. I think we've already made the commitment. He's not even on the injured list, I guess, huh? But it was on it last game and then came clear, right? So, okay. Well, I think I'll have to move on here from this one. But again, I think you're going to have to contain Halliburton. Now, they do have the defense certainly to do it, but I think when you do that, here's Fernando on the Pacers. Look, guys like Miles Turner who could have a pretty decent matchup here today against Sanguine, and also maybe Buddy Hield in his matchup might be pretty good. Good matchups for the Rockets as well, I would imagine. I mean, Obi Toppin's not doing anything defensively for Indiana. We know that. So you got to figure Smith can have a pretty good game, and Green also, Brooks as well. All right. But I'm going to take the Pacers here in a close one. Hawks and Bulls NBA action here for Tuesday night. This one's nearly a toss-up here right now, with the Bulls favored by 1.5, and the total is 234.5. Bulls come in at 13 and 18. Atlanta comes in at 12 and 17. Atlanta's gotten a cover here or there, but still, when you look at the Atlanta Hawks right now, most people are going to consider them among the worst teams in the league spread wise. They've failed to cover in 4 of their last 5. The Bulls were hot with a bunch of covers in a row until that last game, but still, Atlanta 7-22 against the spread this season on the road, or 7-22 against the spread overall, 6-11 against the spread on the road, 5-11 against the spread as an underdog. For Chicago, they're 50-50 proposition pretty much against the number. But I will say this: the Chicago Bulls against teams that are at a 450 winning percentage or lower are 5-0-1 against the spread. I mean, that for me is probably going to be enough to seal the deal, even though from a perspective of how the public is approaching this, we've definitely seen some movement here within the last 5 or 10 minutes, I think, on Chicago. I'm seeing maybe this one gets to 2 here. So maybe I am on the sharp side after all. I just wouldn't think that they'd be interested necessarily in Atlanta and that really poor spread record. I will say Chicago has not been great in the role as a favorite in this range. In fact, uh, in spreads of 3 or less either way. So just expecting a close game. Chicago is just 1-4 against the number, but again, they've done pretty well against bad teams, and again, Atlanta has just been one of the worst spread teams all season long. Atlanta's 18-10 to the over this season. The Bulls are 18-13 to the over. And when the line is here in this range of between 232 and 235 points, the Hawks have gone 3-0 to the over, and the Bulls went over in their only game in that totals range as well. All right. Couple more here. Chicago 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games. We talked about the good run that they were on. They won against Philly, the Lakers, and San Antonio before they had that loss against Cleveland. Total's gone over in Atlanta's 4 of their last 5 games. Atlanta's also gone over in 6 of their last 8 on the road. Bulls have covered 6 of the last 8 meetings in this series, but this is the first meeting between the two teams so far this season. Go ahead and give me the Bulls tonight to win and cover against Atlanta. Get your comments on this one. And Brandon said, Ramon, just try to check the injuries, please, before you start giving out. Well, we are on the Bulls after all, but Young with that shoulder injury still listed as questionable. As far as what we know here in this one, AJ Griffin will miss the game as well. DeAndre Hunter, he's definitely out with a knee injury right now. Jalen Johnson upgraded to probable for the Hawks today. Zach LaVine's still out. That's good news for a lot of cynics. For some cappers, they've been saying, take the Bulls without LaVine. He's been the problem here. Vucevic, he is questionable for the game as well, and the Bulls do have some reserve players that are going to miss this one. I've got the Bulls. Want to thank Brandon Katz, though, here today. I know Brandon has stopped by a couple of times, I think, but getting a chance to comment with us today. Thank you, Brandon. Mike is on the Bulls. Fernando says, give me the Hawks in the first quarter. Ron has a do not bet list, apparently. He's got Chicago to cover this one. Ray says the Bulls bounce back today. Cat says he's got Vooch as questionable for this one. I do as well. Fernando's going over. The reported steam came in on the over. I'd probably be looking at the over. I don't know if I'm going to save it for a premium necessarily with these two, but Rays on the Bulls. Darren's got Vooch in a prop. Thank you, guys. Let's move on. Just a couple more games, get you out of here before the top of the hour. Somehow, with our 11 games and 12 games, we've still gone 2 hours. Here's the Kings taking on the Trailblazers tonight in Portland, and the Kings are a massive road favorite. Doesn't feel that comfortable to be laying these type of points here on the road, especially when this line opened as low as 5.5 or 6 for sure on the look ahead. But right now we're dealing with a Portland team, one of the worst teams certainly in the league, with a 25% winning percentage right now. DeAndre Ayton still missing this one with a knee injury. Sharp is questionable with a groin injury. For Sacramento, Malik Monk, I'd find it hard to believe that he would miss the game with a foot injury. He turned in what I would have to think would be one of the dunks of the year in the last game, even though it was graded as a 6 by De'Aaron Fox. He was kidding, of course. It was a monster dunk here. Alex Len, he's upgraded to probable here, it looks like, for the Kings today. Sacramento has covered 5 of their last 6 trips here into Portland. Portland is 14-4, however, in their last 18 meetings overall against the Kings. The total's gone over in 7 of the last 9 meetings here between the two teams in Portland, but Sacramento has gone under in 5 of their last 6 games on the road. All right, get some of your comments in here, and then we'll get a pick on the game as well. See what you guys have with Sacramento. Brandon says their defense doesn't hold up against good teams, but he says against Portland, that should be plenty. You're fine, Doubles. You could be on this team, certainly. Here's Mark, everybody. Thank you so much to see you on the team, Butterscotch, and a great job so far with your picks. Great addition to the team here. Good handicapper, Mark Eubanks, a.k.a. Butterscotch. Thank you so much for stopping by, sir. We appreciate you very, very much. Rodney says, Bulls, Bulls, Bulls. And Mike says, you know what? Let's just let's forget about all this and put our money into Bitcoin. Well, you know what I think about that, Mike, as someone who's been rolling with Avalanche over the last month. Look, you can go back on our show, and this is supposed to be about sports betting, but it is our morning show. And, well, when Ramon was out there touting Avalanche, yeah, was I late to the party? Hey, I was late to the party on crypto. I remember they used to talk cryptocurrency back at the old the RX forums. I mean, the RX is still out there, but Ken Weissner passed away a long time ago, and nobody really goes to forums too much anymore. But me, there are people out there still like those sports betting forums, but they were talking about cryptocurrencies way back in the day, man, in the early 2000s, and I was like, "What is this? This ain't gonna work." And now I'm all hopped up on my Avalanche, and I'm not talking about the Colorado Avalanche. And ever since I started talking about Avalanche, it's been on a massive run. Yeah, maybe the cryptos to kind of take the holiday off, but check out Avalanche, man. I want to say since we started mentioning it, it's probably up about 100%. It's only up like 300% over the last 3 months. So probably all go down. Who knows? But I'd say look into Avalanche is my favorite one. Here's Richard Lynn says the Kings are fun to watch, but they don't have right. So I got all hot and bothered, Richard, and dropped a little play on the Kings to win it all, just for the equity, not to necessarily to win it all at 66-1, but didn't quite. I don't think it's quite working out for me in that one. But I've since kind of shorted up a little bit of Minnesota here. All right. Oh, hey, let me maybe get a play out here and maybe a few more trends in this one. Portland just 4-9 against the spread at home this season, 4-7 against the spread as a home underdog. Meanwhile, the Kings 7-5 against the spread on the road. And all right, let's go ahead and make the call on this one. Looks like you guys got your plays in here. The widely reported steam did come in on the over, and that's the way I'm going to look. I'm going to go over tonight with the Kings and the Blazers. All right, one more tonight, and we'll get you out of here. I think actually, Mike, this is. I will say this. I don't know if it's a Mike thing because no one is like Mike and some of his uh, numbers and study of numbers. But I will say this: Bitcoin intertwined with betting, absolutely, because Bitcoin has been kind of the way that players have been paying to fund their offshore books and still do today, interestingly enough. So there is a correlation there. I think what you're saying is the prices, and I don't know how, I don't want to, I don't know how to or why to get into that because only you know. But I will say that there is a correlation. Hey, Jesse Diesel, nice to see you as well. Welcome. And all of a sudden, we're going off in crypto land. Good thing the show's almost over. All right, let's take a look here with the Hornets and the Clippers today. In this one, got the Clippers here, obviously, big favorites here. Man, I remember one time I went to see the Hornets and the Clippers, and it just stands out because Baron Davis. I think I've probably seen the Clippers play everybody a couple of times. I'm talking about LA Clippers now, not just the San Diego Clippers. Um, Probably my favorite San Diego Clippers get. Dr. J came to town one time. That was pretty big deal for a kid to see the doctor in person. We had good seats to that one. Anyways, I saw Baron Davis, man, light up the Clippers one time. We were on the baseline in the front row in those Balmer seats, and that's how long ago it was. I was able to afford the Balmer seat back then, and Baron Davis just lit up the Clippers one night, man. I think it was 50. It's a blur now because it was Baron Davis. I mean, had to be 25 years ago, right? Look at this. Brandon says, "Look, the Clippers. What they've built now and they've stabilized themselves. I feel like the Clippers. I know where everybody's getting all excited about this Clippers team right now because look, maybe the chemistry is good. I still think that the chemistry may uh, desert them in the end, but give Harden credit as Brandon is here. He has done a great job so far. So, but look at we know James can still be a great player. Yeah, we were making fun of him early to a certain extent, but yeah, Terrell, the Dr. J game certainly was in San Diego. Baron Davis game was in the LA Sports Arena. Um, not even in the Staples or whatever center the crypto center is now. All right, cover a few numbers in this game and let's get out of here for the day. Thanks everybody for joining me here on the morning steam. Charlotte has gone under in 5 of their last 6 games, but they've gone over in 8 of their last 12 on the road. Clippers have won 5 straight meetings between these two teams. They've also won 5 straight meetings in Charlotte. Well, they only meet a couple of times a year, but still interesting to note. Final. All right, let's get some of your comments maybe here. Oh, where'd my graphic go for this game? There we go. Sorry about that, you guys. Clippers here, 12-point favorite. This total at 229. It is moving a little bit lower right now. We are seeing this total dropping here right now, pretty much market wide. I'm showing mostly 229s, and I'm showing juice to the under now at DraftKings. So I definitely say this is a move here to the under, no doubt. I don't know if it's the right move necessarily. After all, the Hornets have kind of been going over. They're 15-12 to the over so far this season, 8-4 to the over on the road. But Clippers, we know they're about the defense for the most part. They're 12-5 to the 12-15 to the under overall, 5-8-2 to the under at home. And let's see here your comments on this game. I think I might have. Brandon says this feels like a game Kawhi. Are we starting to see, Kawhi kind of accumulate his time off here? Again, maybe because of the injury, the hip injury there. But again, for a player that, well, what can you say, right? Everybody wants to make fun of Kawhi missing all the games, but he's missed just two of 29 games so far this season. All right, let's see here. One more comment. Thanks, Brandon, for some great comments today. Brandon's been here several times before, doesn't always get a chance to chat with us. So let's go ahead and highlight him a little bit here today. Thank him for his contributions. And here's another thing, Brandon. I will say this, and I think you'll agree. The Clippers bench. Maybe they're not all necessarily the best. Maybe they are. They have a real strong bench. I think we all can agree there. And the thing about the Clippers, and I think about Ballmer, and the thing that's really helped this Clippers team is they've spent some money on their bench. I think they have a pretty good bench here, and I think that's a little bit overlooked to a certain extent. I think the Clippers bench, among the best, certainly in the league. All right. Let's get this one here about the Clippers in a blowout today over the Hornets. I'll take them to blow them out. Go Clips. My Clippers. My San Diego Clippers. All right. That's going to do it for us here on the Morning Steam. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, everybody. And thank you for spending a few hours with me here previewing the games today, college football and basketball. Back to more and pro basketball. We'll be back tomorrow. No college basketball for a few days. NHL will resume tomorrow with a pretty heavy-duty card. Of course, college bowl games all week, including today's games. Don't forget the game at 12 Eastern, or 1 Eastern, or 2 Eastern and 1 and 11 Pacific. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here. Thank you, Gamble. Rick, what you got, Terrell? Let me know what's going on. We got a minute here. Okay, tell us, Terrell. Let's get there. We got to know. We got to know. If you're going to be on a game show, we're going to be on this. Is it network? Is it game show network? What was I? I mean, how sad is Christmas night? Maybe I should. Okay. Oh, Terrell. All right. Don't tell us how you did. We'll watch it. This is the main episode, right? Terrell is on Wheel of Fortune. Are you kidding me? All right, Terrell. Let's root for Terrell. I'm surprised he didn't tell us before the taping or whatever. I know there's I think people tell, right? There's not a disclosure agreement that you have to sign, right? You can tell your family and everything, but don't tell us. We want to come back. He'll be tomorrow. He'll be on the wheel. And hopefully he, doesn't, when Terrell, uh, when Terrell talks to us about injuries here in the chat, he does not say that so and so has an Achilles injury, right? To get him laughed off the show and become a viral. Terrell didn't go viral. That's awesome, Terrell. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write it down. T-Dub on Wheel of Fortune. Okay. I know it's the same episode all over, right? So we don't have a problem there. And that is your real name, right, brother? I'm looking for somebody else. I mean, looks like a real name. Doesn't look like an alias to me. That's awesome, Terrell. We're going to watch. Everybody watch. We should have if I wasn't totally crazy, Terrell, I'd make you watch on the air and we'd make you do a watch party. But I know you're going to be watching with your family and everything like that. We believe you, sir. You wouldn't tell us that to make us watch Wheel of Fortune for no reason. So thank you. That's going to be awesome. All right. Okay, you guys, everybody make sure you check out Terrell tonight. Check us out in the Discord as well. We'll have more plays in there. Get my premium picks today over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all of our premium pick packages. Click on the All Cappers tab. There are all of our cappers, our new widely expanded roster. Maybe the consensus report's coming soon now with all these handicappers. We can finally get that going. It's just great to have so many of them. Really, a lot of them from the early shows of the morning steam, kind of the crew that runs with Mindy and Tiffany over there with Butterscotch, certainly, and Jerry and the crew here, and EPA also. So who else? I would think there was another one too, right? Let me see here. Latifa also, and Ron. So, all right, you guys, thanks a lot. Check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages. You can click on the Handicapper profile page of any of our cappers. Scroll down, there are packages up there. 3-packs, 5-packs, 7-packs, or grab my weekly pass. Save 20% by using the promo code TonyT at checkout. All right, that'll do it for the morning steam. I'll be back here tomorrow for more morning steam. Don't forget, check out all of our programming here on the channel, including Midday Plays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific. Mindy Hahn and Tiffany Mance bring you the ladies' perspective on sports betting today. They'll bring you more free winners on the show, preview some more of the games. Tony T is here with his predictive modeling series, plus his other recorded videos with his previews today. Check him out on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 40,000 subscriber juggernaut. But Tony's got his show at 5:15 Eastern, 2:15 Pacific on most days with his predictive modeling, sponsored by the Rhythm app, and then at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific, Tony T with the Pick Dogs crew get you your primetime game previews. Thanks for joining me here on the Morning Steam. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott.
Can it be showing up with Tony T? Yes, Ramon SEO. To the double T, befuddling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning steam is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and